And a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Monday, October 27th. We've got a big night of sports action ahead. We're going to preview it here in just a few moments. We're going to recap the action from Sunday and talk sports betting with you here after a big day of sports on Sunday, man. What a day in the National Football League and NBA as well. And thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. And we thank everyone. You're welcome to comment in the chat as well about what I'm talking about, the games, the recaps, the previews. And I really appreciate you joining me here on the show for a Monday. And we got a NFL game, of course. We got World Series game number 3 out in Los Angeles. Which is the bigger game? What you going to watch? Which would you watch? You going to watch them both? Who gets the big screen on a night like this when you got an 11.5-point favorite in the Chiefs and you got, the World Series, which is pretty much on fire here at this point. So, hey, thanks a lot for joining me. I want to say hello to some folks in the chat waiting around for me here to get going, to get started here tonight. Really appreciate you guys there. But I want to say hello to, let's see who we got here. We've got Abel in the chat. He had a big winner here today with his Golden Knights and the Kings. Good job, Abel and LALB. Hey, he represents them both as well. I mean, it's like they're twins there with those. And, they're going to the Dodger game tomorrow. It's going to be great. I don't know if they can replicate the pregame. The Toronto did a great job with those national anthems and the presentation. I'm sure it'll be great in Hollywood as well. So, really appreciate LALB. Well, thanks for stopping by and trying to hang out with me for a little while anyway. Thank you, Abel. You guys take care. I'll see you guys later. And Moneybags is here as well. And Jay's Rides and Shine. I like that, Jay. I hope I got it right, Jay. And are there any late night games? We're watching some opening round tennis. It's a little bit rough, early on in the early rounds here when you're half a world away, but there's some matches going on tonight for sure. And there is a little bit of action, important action here coming up, including Korean League baseball playoffs with Hanwha and LG going at it. And, some action in Taiwan as well, if you follow them. And TransCanada here, he says the Jets ruined those survivors. I know I was on a show here, I think, yesterday, and they said, what's the stronger play? The Bengals over the Jets and the Patriots over the Browns? I said, the Bengals, come on. The Jets are winless, but what a comeback. Let's talk about a few of the games from yesterday, and then we'll roll into the previews. But just such a wild day. We had a pretty okay night here on the show for sure yesterday, mostly because I decided to go over for once in the games there last night. We had DeAndre on with us, and those Jets, I'm not saying it was the best game of the day, but it might have been the most interesting as the Jets beat the Bengals 39-38. The Bengals led 31-16 after the third quarter, but Breece Hall ran for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he's a quarterback too after throwing that touchdown there, the points there. And Jets continue to play close games. They finally got one, broke into the win column. We had the over here on Night Moves. Bengals have actually lost 5 of their last 6, trying to hang on and get Joe Burrow back, maybe, hopefully, eventually. But will they have enough there? Because other teams in the division might be coming fast as well. So Cincinnati's 4-0 to the over at home. Ravens over the Bears 30-16. Talking about teams coming on, the Ravens needed a win desperately because their season was slowly slipping away, and it still might, but they got the win over the Bears and looked confident in doing it. We had the over here on Night Moves, and it did go over after opening as high as 49, closing around lower than the 30-16 total, around 45. So Ravens ran the ball for 177 yards, and Chicago had their 4-game winning streak snapped in that game. Chicago's not a great underdog on the road. We did mention that, but we were on the over in that game for a winner there. Baltimore led 10-6 at halftime, 16-6 after 3 quarters. lost the game 30-16 there against the Ravens. Dolphins over the Falcons. We had the over in that one, and may have snuck over some 43.5. So I know we talked 44 last night here on the show. It's 34-10 in the finals. Dolphins outgained the Falcons by 125 yards to 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. Man, when Miami looks good, they look good, but still, nobody's claiming they've turned it around here necessarily just yet against a Falcons team that had to run out. What can you say when you run out Kirk Cousins? He didn't look like he was quite ready for the game there yesterday. Dolphins blew him out there 24-3 after 3 quarters went on for the win. Atlanta just 7-17 against the spread. Their last 24 is a home favorite. How about that? Bills rocked the Panthers. We had another winner there with the over last night and the 40-9 blowout win for Buffalo. James Cook ran for 216 yards. That's the most yards by a Buffalo running back since O.J. Simpson in 1976. Bills 9-0 straight up off of a bye under Coach McDermott. Carolina had won 3 in a row, and they were 3-0 at home, but they lost this one. We had the over last night here on Night Moves. Giants and the Eagles also yesterday in an interesting one, right? With man, what a bummer to see Scatabo go down with that dislocated ankle. That was tough news because he's been pretty terrific to watch. One of the breakout players in the league this year. Barkley had a 65-yard run for a touchdown on the second play of the game, and Philly led 17-10 at halftime, went on for the win, outgained the Giants by 180 yards in the game. So Giants 0-13 in their last 13 visits to Philadelphia, but 6-7 against the spread. Eagles got the money in that one. We had the over here on Night Moves for another winner in that one. Texans over the Niners, 26-15. DeAndre said last night, what's the catch here with why is Houston favored in this one? But it was Stroud throwing for 318 yards and 2 touchdowns. My man, he comes through. Houston outgained the Niners by over 250 yards in the game, and Niners just 1-11 against the spread their last 12 games, coming in off of a win. Talk about ups and downs, right? And San Francisco couldn't really get it going against the Texans, who had an outstanding game and won it 26-15 in that one. Other action on the early portion of the card, the Patriots rocked the Browns. We had the over again, and now remember, I went over in all the morning games, all the 1 p.m. Eastern starts, and it was a big time over there in 5 of the 6 of the 7 games. So we did go 6-1 here on the show on those early moves because we were on the totals there yesterday here on the show. Patriots have won and covered their last 5 games. They led 9-7 at halftime, but went on for the 32-13 win over the Browns. They rocked them pretty good. Cleveland just 8-19 against the spread their last 28 games as a road dog. So Browns still struggling to score with a rookie quarterback in there right now. The Patriots rocked their 32-13. And afternoon action on Sunday, the Buccaneers dominated the Saints, and we had the under in that one here on Night Moves, and it was 23-3, and a sure under as the Bucs dominated the Saints. They led 7-3 at halftime. Their only touchdown was a pick six. The rest were field goals there. I think it seemed like field goal day yesterday, not tight end day, the way the day started off there. Buccaneers 12-3 last 15 against the spread, coming in off of a loss, and they looked pretty good in New Orleans, having won and covered 4 straight games at New Orleans. Saints did outgame Tampa, but had 4 turnovers, so they did bring in Tyler Shuck in the game there after Rattler got benched and he passed for 128 yards. Saints are 6-16 against the spread. Their last 22 as a home dog. Other afternoon action: the Colts rocked the Titans behind Jonathan Taylor, 153 yards, including an 80-yarder and a touchdown, 2 touchdowns in the game. Under Shane Steichen, the Colts are 9-2 against the spread as a home favorite, and they easily covered the 15.5 points and the 38-14 win. Colts have gone over their team total in 7 of 8 games so far this season. Tennessee's 1-7 straight up and against the spread. 6 of their losses coming by double digits. How about DK though? He did have 7 receptions for 93 yards. Titans are just 4-15 in their last 19 games as an underdog against the spread. And the Broncos dominated over the Cowboys as Denver won their 5th in a row. A real blowout here, 44-24. Broncos led 27-10 at halftime, and easy victory for Denver. What wins when the high-powered offense, the number one offense in the league, takes on a historically strong defense? Yeah, looks like the defense went out, but it was the Broncos offense that put up the 44 points there yesterday. So 44-24 in that one. And then late night, Pittsburgh loses to Green Bay 35-25. Pittsburgh led 16-7 at halftime, but it was all Packers in the second half, outscoring the Steelers in the game there. In the second half, 28-9, and really the Steelers just tacked one on at the end there. Jordan Love tied a Green Bay Packers unofficial record with 20 consecutive completions, tying a mark set there by Brett Favre, I think they said, right? So Jordan Love looked good there in leading Green Bay to the comeback, and Packers outgained the Steelers by over 150 yards in that one, and the Packers rolled over the Steelers in Pittsburgh. A big win for the Packers. Steelers were wearing those Bumblebee jerseys. That was probably the problem. Also, news late night: LSU fired head coach Brian Kelly because basically college sports are off their rocker a little bit. Kelly, they're going to have to pay him $53 million. He was 34-14 at LSU, but had lost 3 of his last 4 games, and this weekend was the nail in the coffin. It was only basically, 36 hours earlier, they were winning a game at halftime against Texas A&M, and then end up losing, and then boom, you're gone. You're out of a job. So LSU was expected to compete for the title this season. Now they're just basically a disaster. So they'll have to pay him all that money, and we'll see who comes in to coach. Will it be Summerall of Tulane? Maybe coming as the next coach? Could it be James Franklin coming in to be the next coach of LSU next year? We'll see. But between James Franklin getting that $49 million and Kelly getting $53 million, yeah, just pay these guys $100 million to go away there. All right, big day there in football. NBA, we did bring you some winners here on Night Moves last night with DeAndre. We were able to pick up some winners here on the card. Last night, DeAndre gave us that Knicks and Miami game to go under. He also gave us the Charlotte Hornets over Washington there. I had a winner with Milwaukee and Cleveland under. DeAndre had you with the Bucks plus the points in that one. Also, DeAndre gave you Indiana with a winner. I said go under in that game with Minnesota. Also, I had the winner here with Toronto and Dallas game to go way over. That Cooper Flag, pretty good performance for Flag. DeAndre gave you Dallas in that one. And a couple games late night as well here with LA Lakers and Sacramento. It was the Lakers the Kings getting, the Lakers getting that 127-120 victory there. I gave you the Lakers I had the I had the under in that game. That wasn't a winner at all, but the Lakers got the win there yesterday, last night. And Also, Portland and the Clippers. Clippers won. Portland got the money. Clippers win 114 to 107 in that one. Clippers get the money. Also, NHL action brought you some winners here on Night Moves with New Jersey as a winner here last night. We also gave you a winner with Dallas and Nashville game to go under there. Also, Kings and Blackhawks to go under. We gave you that one there as well. And one game late night out west, and it was Vancouver 4-3 in overtime over Edmonton. All right, we'll get to the show here and start to preview and say hello to you guys in the chat. And
System play.
Thank you for joining me here on the show. Kenny Moe is here. Thank you for joining me. And see what else. Who else? National Tight End Day was a hit, says Javon. Yep. What did we have yesterday? I think they said 10 different tight ends. I think they said maybe it was 11 by the end of the night game there with the National Tight End Day. So the tight ends did come through pretty much with flying colors there. Kenny says a good win for the Texans. Javon said, how about the Dolphins getting the win? I'm the guy who kind of sticks up, it feels like, for the Dolphins and for Coach McDaniel. They haven't fired him yet, right? They must be something. And I think much is made about what looks to be a toxic relationship between McDaniel and Tua. I mean, all indications to me is it's a love fest between those two guys, quite frankly. And good morning to Timothy Hawk. And Oilers looked flat early, says TransCanada. Hey, let's get to the action here and start to discuss the games on Monday. We know we got an incredible card of action just because the World Series here on Monday night should be pretty awesome, right? With the Dodgers taking on the Blue Jays. And, well, that's where we're going to start, of course, here. To get rolling. Oh, I did want to mention one other man. It was a real bummer to hear about the great Jets center, Nick Mangold, passing away at 41. He'd been sick there a little bit, but man, was he a good player? He was a great center for the Jets, wasn't he? Nick Mangold there. All right, let's get to the show here right now and preview the games. We got a lot of games actually to preview with a full NBA card of 11 games here on Monday night after the 9-game card on Sunday. Gonna have to you got to give these guys a day off. You got to sit them out. You got to get a rest already. It's still the preseason, feels like, in the NBA right now. Also, a couple games in the NHL coming up. Let's get rolling here and just talk a little World Series for a few moments here with you guys. Get your picks and see what you guys might like here. Game 3 Monday with Tyler Glasnow going here for the Dodgers. Kind of a 0.68 ERA here in the postseason so far. He's been pretty awesome. Max Scherzer, hey, he's done a pretty good job too here in the postseason coming in. And look, you got to go with Max here. There's no doubt about it. It might not be the best option, but still, you got a Hall of Fame pitcher going here for the Toronto Blue Jays. So why couldn't he come through here against the Dodgers? Max did have a 5.06 ERA this season and a 1.29 whip and a 2.57 batting average against for Tyler Glasnow. Went 4-3 with a 2.87 ERA. 1.09 whip, 171 batting average against, and a 224 BABIP. Pretty good numbers here for sure for Glasnow coming in. The Dodgers bullpen continues to have problems. They have a 6.16 ERA. They didn't need him last game, fortunately, in that win on Saturday when Yoshi Yamamoto retired 20 batters in a row in that complete game 4-hitter with 9 strikeouts. Max Muncy and Will Smith had home runs in that game. Kevin Gausman was good too. He had retired seven in a row before giving up those home runs. Both teams may be a little bit tentative to go to their bullpens, but yeah, you might have to here tonight with Glasnow, of course, taking on the Blue Jays here. Of course, the Blue Jays, we know, won that opener 11-4 with that 9-run inning, but where are the runs after that? So Uh, let's see how you guys see it here in the action on Monday night. Glasnow against the expected Toronto lineup. 198 batting average for Toronto against Glasnow. Uh, 86 at bats, 17 hits, just 2 home runs. There's some guys, though, that have some okay form against Glasnow. You got George Springer, 3 for 6. Miles Straw has a double in 3 at-bats. Blatty, 5 of 14 with a home run and 3 doubles coming in. But there are also some guys who don't have some great numbers. IKF, 1 for 10 coming in. Bo Bichette, who looks like he'll get the start at second base, 2 for 14 there. Ernie Clement, 0 for 4. Barger, 0 for 5. Go up against Max. These Dodgers do have some numbers. Max has been around for sure. You got Freddie Freeman, 11 for 53. That's just a 208 average, but 3 home runs against Scherzer. Mookie's 3 for 10 with a home run. Tommy Edmonton, 4 for 11 with a home run, and a couple guys with some poor numbers against Scherzer. You got Kike Hernandez, 0 for 6. Teoscar's 1 for 7. Will Smith is 0 for 3 against Max. So how do you guys have it? If you want to comment in the chat and make a pick in this one between the Dodgers and Blue Jays here on Monday night, World Series, game number 3. I guess I could say the current line. It's right there on the screen, of course, with the Dodgers minus 200. And the total, 8/20. This is the World Series for crying out loud. And I don't know if as good as the Dodgers have been, I don't know if I want to lay $2 in a World Series game. The Toronto Blue Jays have been pretty terrific. And I got to take the Blue Jays here on the run line in this one to at least keep this a 1-run game here. I know the Dodgers are the team I've picked to win, but man, I'm going to take plus 1.5 at minus $1.15 here. I got to. I mean, I just out of principle. This is the World Series. You know what? Maybe it was Ohtani against Max. I might consider the $2. And hey, Glasnow's a real great pitcher. We know that. These staffs are great, aren't they? But no, not for me. Not $2. No, thank you. It's a great match. It's a fine matchup here for pretty much the entire Dodger lineup. Glasnow does have some okay matchups against Lucas, I think, against Luke's, against Alejandro, against Dalton Varsho and against Barger. But you know what? I don't mind the matchups for Springer, for Blatty, for Kirk here to kind of keep them in the game. Clement, IKF as well. So I want to take the 1.5 here, I think, with Toronto in this one at that price. It's $1.90. You're on 90 at some of the sharp books, but you're going to be looking at close to this price. And we do see it. Some books also offering 8.5 under 15 is just a little bit higher on that total here, but I got to take the Blue Jays on the run line in this one. All right. Kenny Mo says the Blue Jays are great value, aren't they? Old Man Max says Kenny Mo. And the line's heavily juiced for a reason, says Javon. Hi, Javon. Nice to see you. Man, great to have you in the chat. Javon, nice. You're doing a great job so far, man. Thank you for being joining us over at Tony's Picks. And while I got my man here in the chat, why don't I fire it up and go on over to Tony's Picks there? I mean, that's after all what I'm supposed to be doing here is promoting our website. So maybe I can just go over there real quick and take a look at the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot, because you know who was hot? Javon Jones. And I hope, Javon, you're not just coming in one day here to say, hey, here I am. You've been doing a good job of teasing you, but here, let's take a look. 8-2 yesterday on NFL Sunday. Can't top that. Look at some of the guys there also. You had Ron Crawford, 8-4 there yesterday. Alessandro won his only play there. But, Javon, if you don't mind, look at this so far since joining Tony's Picks, up 5 3/4 units. Thank you, Javon, for joining the team. here. We need some great cap. And look, so far, 21-11 in the NFL. Congratulations, sir. Terrific job there. Also 13-9. And he's got his top plays there. Hey, hope you don't mind me calling you out here, Javon, and pumping you up on the air. He's got a couple of top bets there as well for tomorrow with the Blues and the Pens in that toss-up affair, and the Raptors and the Spurs there. But look at the winners there from Sunday. He had the Packers. He had that mammoth win over the Jets. How about that one? Mammoth winning again on the road in a good matchup there. He had the Broncos to roll. He had the under, as I did too, Javon, in that Buccaneers and Saints game. He had the Pistons to roll. He had this it just got nipped there on this. He should have had a winner right there on the Spurs game. He had the Dolphins in there and the under in that Dolphins game. Just got the hook there. I think I took credit for a win at 43.5 or something. I don't know, but came right on that number, and he got it in there, and they had the Dolphins. On the money line. Great job. That is a great call right there, Javon, with that Dolphins money line. Hey, like I said, I'm still kind of backing this Dolphins team for sure. So really appreciate that, Javon. Thank you for showing up in the chat here and saying hi and giving some picks in there for sure as well. But let me read the pick. Did I read the whole thing there? I think the value's lost on the side plays. The Dodgers should win, but at what cost right here? And I think he said chasing the run line's not the way to go for me. I can't help it. I'm going to do it. Unless, he might be saying chasing the Dodgers run line. Or maybe not, because it says it's going to be pretty big time there in L.A. Tonight. Blue Jays money line there for Kenny Moe. He says, if you want to lose, lay it. Glass now is a monster. Glass now is great. Hey, we know that. And you're doing a great job on the shows too, Javon. So really appreciate it, and a great addition here. Hope it works out for you. And thank you, my friend. Maybe we'll get you on here on Night Move, so I'm not all lonely here tonight. But let's see here. Yeah, he looks great on the morning show. Great presentation. A little more sound than me sometimes when I get going on one of my rants, right? And Ziggy's here today as well. So, okay, I guess that's it for the preview of the World Series. I don't know how else we can look at it, or I guess we can do more to break it down. But again, I just think looking at that lineup, look, I definitely think that the Dodgers through and through this lineup have a pretty good matchup against Max. I don't doubt that, but I'm just not going to lay $2 or a run line in a World Series game. I mean, leave that for the regular season here. Emotions are high. These Blue Jays, they got a great lineup. I mean, let's be real here. So, like I said, maybe if it was Ohtani, I might even do it because he's the greatest of all time. All right. Thank you, John. I'm going to get off the screen. But hey, go over to Tony'sPicks.com. Don't forget, I think this is our commercial too here. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off all premium pick packages. I think I thought I had some winners there on the card. I had some props, and I think they might not be quite graded into the system, but I think I went 2-1 on my props here last night in the 2-1 on my props here last night with the NFL games. So the late night, we had the props in the late night game. Trying to recall what they were. I know it might have. I don't think it was tight end day though. I know that. Okay, let's move on though. We're going to keep previewing these games here on Monday. Night moves here. There we go. We got one football game as well. Hey, good thing we have the World Series to take precedent, if you will, over this football game. Although, look, the Chiefs here, 11.5-point favorite over the Commanders. I know we know the storyline here without my man Jaden Daniels in there. And okay, Marcus Mariota doesn't excite anybody anymore if he ever did, but we know he's been in there quite a bit. We've already seen Daniels miss a few starts here because of injury already. So maybe, man, I hope Jaden's not. He is a little fragile. He's had injuries in his college and pro career, but he's going to have to miss this one as well. And there are, other injuries as well. But come on, I mean, this thing was scheduled to open around 4.5, 5.5, and then once that news came out that Daniels was going to be out with that hamstring injury, now you're talking about an 11-point favorite here against a Chiefs team that, well, they're not the best at covering games at home necessarily, but maybe this will be enough. But here's the thing, right? The Commanders, they get, Debo is in, and don't forget, Scary Terry, the other Scary Terry, Terry McLaurin. He's probable now in this lineup here. So, that sounds fine. I mean, look, the Commanders aren't awful. Yeah, they're 3-4. Maybe they're underachieving a little bit here right now, but I don't think they're left for dead. I mean, they were coming into the season with high hopes, high expectations. They have had the injuries to Daniels. It's kind of definitely brought them down a little bit, kept them down a little bit here. But Mariota stepped in. He's had some good moments. I think we can probably agree to that so far this season when he's been in there, he's had a few, taken off. Remember, he took off running, and you're like, he's still got it with the running here as well. So let's see, though, how you guys want to do it here with the Commanders and the Chiefs. Commanders 3-4, 3-4 against the spread. Chiefs 4-3, 4-3 against the spread. Commanders 4-3 to the over so far this season. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are 3-4 to the under so far this season. So how do you guys have it here tonight with the Commanders taking on the Chiefs? Washington. Look, this is an interconference game. We saw a ton of interconference games, and I think, looking back at yesterday's results, right, there were a lot of blowouts, and this was the first week of the season where I think the interconference games, there were as many interconference games as there were division games or conference games. By the way, that the AFC dominated. They had won them all until Sunday Night Football. Think about it. Texans beat the Niners. Ravens beat the Bears. Dolphins beat the Falcons. Bills beat the Panthers. Now, the favorites won, don't get me wrong, but the AFC won all those interconference matchups. Broncos over the Cowboys as well. Last night, of course, Packers did get that game, even though they trailed. They pretty much won convincingly. Between these two teams, it's all Chiefs. 8 straight wins over Kansas City, 8 straight wins over Washington, 8 straight covers over Washington. But the teams don't meet they just meet. That's almost a 2-decade sample size, actually. Now, there could be something to the logistics of Washington going in, and maybe they haven't. We know the Chiefs have been good for over a decade here, right, with their great run. But Kansas City's covered 4 of their last 5 games overall coming in. Washington all of a sudden starting to struggle to the number 2-4 against the spread in their last 6, although they've won 10 of their last 15 dating back to last season. Chiefs have won 4 of their last 5 games. Chiefs have gone under in 4 of their last 6 games coming in. So, the AFC, they're favored again, but 11 points. I mean, I still think Washington's got a pretty good program here, quite frankly. Let's get, if you want to comment in the chat and make a pick in this one, I'll take your comments here about this big spread here on Monday night. See what you guys have here in the chat. And I want to say, there's Devin Grigsby. Hello, Devin. Nice to see you. And Commanders against the spread says a big look ahead. Chiefs got a short week here this week, head of the action. Also, Javon there. Dodgers minus 200. Chiefs, what do we think? They're going to just get all these favorites here? They're just jacking them up, he says. And he says the Chiefs got that Bills game on tap on Thursday night. In fact, I saw that they're on the short week there. I thought they said the NFL Today was gonna, or the NFL show there was gonna be live or something like that. Anyway. All right, Chief spread for Kenny Moe. Trans Canada says Otani World Series, a nice MVP odds right now. Yeah, because Yamamoto pitched that game, and he's going to have another chance to pitch too. And Yamamoto also looks like a pretty interesting play, although it would have been the proper play to go with him before the last game, before that great performance. So, okay, sounds great, you guys, and I'm gonna. Well, I think I kind of gave my pick away there, didn't I? With the Commanders, I'm going to take the Commanders plus the points. And look, I'm not sure the Chiefs are all that as far as being able to blow out a team. It does seem like they do play to the spread a little bit. It feels like so at 11.5. Mariota, hey, we're not dealing with some rookie in here, right? We got a guy who's been there and done that, not only as a starter, but primarily over the last, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years in this exact role, being ready to go, take over for an injured quarterback, and you still have a little bit of a mileage left here as well. Mariota just 36-44 in his career as a starter. The Commanders have been getting lit up. 350 yards and allowing 350 yards in 5 of their last 6 games. Also, under Quinn, the Commanders are just 2-5 against the spread as a road dog, but they are 11-6 the last 17 games against the AFC. We talked about that interconference situation there for the Chiefs. Not great numbers necessarily in this role, including 17-24 against the spread, last 41 off of a win here. But Chiefs are 12-6 against the spread, their last 18 against NFC teams. So I'm going to take the points here and think that they've just overshot the line here a little bit. Commanders could get that back door here, says Landon. Nice to see you, Landon. Public will be all over Chiefs laying the big number, maybe after what we saw, right, with the big win there yesterday by the Colts. I was all over the Colts and not here on the show, but I took the Colts in that game yesterday. And let's see. Jabon says, this is I'm pro Commanders, Jabon, no doubt about it. Yeah, I know it's going. This isn't a Commanders colored shirt, although it is, but I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan, so I'm bummed he's not in there in this game, but still have a lot of talent here. Chiefs, you think about some of those trends for the Chiefs, they've kind of been an under if you think about it over the last several years, particularly at home. I know this total is pretty high. We've seen a lot of points here this weekend. I mean, it was over city. Make no mistake about it. I think the final tally there on Sunday was at 9-2 to the over. It might have been 8-2-1 to the over. There, the only unders were San Francisco and Houston went under. Right, we know Miami. Credit to Javon getting that good line. It might have landed right on 44 at most books there for that game. That one's the only one that was kind of close. And then the other under was obviously the Buccaneers and the Saints. Other than that, every game went over city right now in the NFL. So, all right. I'm gonna take the Commanders and I'll be the Huckleberry. All right, thanks you guys for that, and hopefully that was enough of information there. Maybe could have looked at some props. Let me see if I can just outline my favorite players in the game here on the prop board for Monday night. I'll just save the player. You can decide what you like though, but certainly for Kansas City here, you got Washington, probably bottom 10 run defense for sure. So maybe Pacheco, maybe Hunt, but you get equal production out of those guys there. And don't forget, they've been really high on Brashard Smith after that big game last week with 81 total yards of offense. And you could see Brashard Smith start to get more action as well. Chiefs, I've got Chiefs pretty good against the run. It could be tough for Bill Merritt, and Chiefs also very solid against ones and twos in the passing game. So McLaurin, Samuel, man, the Chiefs do have some advantages with their strong defense so far this season. Can Zach Ertz contribute to National Tight End Day? Can Travis Kelce? Is it count? Is it National Tight End weekend? DeAndre told us last night Trey McBride wanted to protest because he wasn't included in National Tight End Day because the Arizona Cardinals had a bye. So I think I might still look to – I don't know if those Commanders' prices and stats are quite good enough, but 11.5 points has got to be good enough for me. Okay, I'll put the NFL aside, and I've got a big NBA card here to look at on Night Moves, so you're welcome to join in. If I see your comments, I'll try to run them up there, try to get the comment in when we preview the individual game. But we got an interesting card that I want to get to here and where we stand here. I almost joke, right? Oh, it feels like right now and watching some of the games, I don't want to be that guy, but the guys are already taking days off here, and with the way the defense is it still the preseason? Cavaliers are going to take on the Pistons to get us going here in this one, and take a look here. The Cavaliers off to a solid start. Make sure I get the games from last night here as well. Cavaliers are off to a solid 2-1 start, riding a little 2-game winning streak, averaging 120 points a game so far. The Pistons have matched them record-wise, but feels like the Pistons have had a little bit of a softer schedule, I'd say. They played Boston after all, and Boston's not very good, are they? Or are they? Man, what's wrong with Boston? We don't get to talk about them slumping here early like this, but the Pistons have done a good job defensively, allowing 113 points per game. Feels like Cleveland's offense has been a little bit sharper, more efficient so far, and they've covered 2 straight as favorites. So I think they have the experience for sure, and I think the Cavs can take this one on the road actually against Detroit. Now, I'm going to take the Cavaliers here as my play against the Pistons here in this one on Monday night. For Cleveland coming in here against Detroit, they've owned this series. They've won 12 of the last 13 matchups between the two so far, and 10 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams have gone under, including 5 of the last 6 games between the two teams here in Detroit. So I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland to win this one, and I'll lay a couple of points here on the road. So Cleveland, I think I said they covered, but I don't think they did actually cover in the game there yesterday against Milwaukee, right? Yeah, it was. Oh, Milwaukee got the money, so I had that record wrong there, but I'm taking Cleveland. And Ziggy here is going to take the Cavs on the money line. Next up, the Magic are on the road taking on the Sixers. The Magic here are up to a 4.5 now. That's gone up here a little bit overnight. Was open, I believe, 3.5, and now we're up to 4.5 here right now. With the Magic taking on the Sixers here. For both teams have been, giving up the points here a little bit. Sixers averaging 121 points per game so far this season, and Orlando allowing 114 so far. Orlando's 1-2 so far this season. The Sixers are 2-0 to the over, but they are, interestingly enough, 2-0 straight up, but 0-2 against the spread of the Sixers so far. So, are they overrated? Or are they overrated here a little bit? I don't know, but man, we've seen great play from Edgecombe so far. Everyone's been totally stoked with his play. It feels like the Magic's backcourt can kind of keep these guys competitive here, and they did earn favoritism in this one on the road. So I don't know if that says as much about where the Sixers are. We know Joel Embiid is out. Uh, you know, he's so far, I mean, what kind of contribution he's made? He's only averaging 12 points and 4 rebounds in his limited action here so far this season. And him being out of this game is probably what is swaying the line. But has he really been that much of an impact player to warrant the favoritism here? Maybe so. But, PG, I believe, is out in this one as well. So, look, Orlando's been competitive late in their losses so far, it feels like. I kind of want to take them here, but you know what? I'm going to end up taking the over in this one between Orlando and Philadelphia. I think that'll be my call in this game. You got, let's see here. Like I said, 2-0 to the over so far, or 2-0 to the over so far for the Sixers. Give me the over in this one. All right, and we got some comments here in the chat. We've got Magic on the Ziggy said, give me the Magic on the spread there. And Kenny Moe likes this. Ziggy took Magic on the money line. Kenny Moe, 76ers on the spread. There's Ziggy saying Embiid's out. Kenny Moe, Edgecombe's a dog, right? And Javon's, yeah, I got you on that one, Javon. All right, I'm going to go over here in this one. Keep it moving here on Night Moves. And next up, we've got the Hawks here taking on the Bulls in an Eastern Conference matchup. So far, Atlanta coming in 1-2, 0-2 at home, but 1-0 on the road for Atlanta thus far. Chicago coming in here 2-0. Look out for Chicago, starting off with a 2-0 record, 2-0 against the spread. They're 0-2 to the under. This total is 240. Here we talked about some of these big totals so far for sure, and here we are again. And man, this one, I'm almost not doubting it here. The Bulls' offense feels like they're clicking a little bit now. Granted, only averaging 124 points per game. They've gone 112 points per game. They've gone under in both of those games so far. But Atlanta, they're giving up 120 points per game so far this season, minus 11 on the point margin here so far. But, with the guards here, the defensive holes in these teams, we should get plenty of scoring, it would feel like, in this game. Now, 240, I know, is going to be intimidating for a lot of people, especially with the numbers so far that the Bulls have, allowing just 104 points per game so far, as practically the best defense in the league right now. But I was thinking over in this game, quite frankly. Bulls have covered 11 of the last 16 matchups between these two teams overall. So I'm going to go over 240 in this game. I think the total is that high, quote unquote, for a reason. Chicago's chemistry does look good. They are finishing games well. We got practically a toss-up here in this one. That also, I think, could contribute to the total going over. There are certainly, Josh Giddey is questionable in this game. You definitely probably need him in there. 20-point per game scorer over those first 2 games so far. He's looked pretty strong, and everyone knows how important he is becoming to this team for Giddy. But I've got this at a pick'em, and I think the total's actually gone down here to about 240 for Atlanta. Risha Shea, questionable. KP, questionable. Jalen Johnson, questionable as well. In this one, I'm going to go over 241, Atlanta and Chicago on Monday night. Ziggy's on the Hawks. And next up, we've got, big spread here with the Nets and the Rockets. But look at me, says Brooklyn. We got the money in that game yesterday. Now it's a back-to-back, obviously, for Brooklyn here. We talked about the back-to-back, some of those other teams, too. I'll try to do a better job of make sure we single those out. But Brooklyn got the money. Wasn't easy because they were not getting the money there for a while there against San Antonio, but ended up just an 11-point loss, pretty much getting, I don't know, what did it go off at? 11. Well, you know what? It landed 11, 10.5 on some. So the money actually came in on Brooklyn. It just landed very close to the number. Actually, I'm going to say the Spurs might have got there for some folks, right on the number. So let's see how we can attack this one, though, with Houston a 15.5-point favorite, even higher here. And the total, 226 in this one. So far, Brooklyn's issue, I don't think scoring is a problem here for Brooklyn so far, averaging 100, I think over 120 a game. It's the defense and the effort so far for this young team. Maybe the fact that they are kind of green makes it look like the effort isn't there. I'm not sure, but Houston hasn't been very explosive either. The surprising Rockets here are 0-2 so far, and allowing 120 points per game, averaging 117.5 points per game so far. So both teams coming in here 0-2 right now with a double-digit spread this high. Sometimes that can drag the tempo down a little bit. Here we know the Rockets did have an under. Nets have gone over in both, but the Rockets did show out a little bit defensively in that last one. So I think with neither side kind of in rhythm, it feels like right now I would expect some ugly stretches maybe here. Houston hasn't proven they can bury anyone yet in a game, much less cover 15.5 points here in this one. So if you want to chime in with your pick, go ahead right now. But for me in this one, look, you have a series that, yes, it is East-West, but 8 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Brooklyn is just 3-6 ATS in their last 9 games against Houston. Overall here, I'm going to take the under in this one with Brooklyn and Houston at 226. Thank you, Ziggy, for being my partner here on the show tonight with your picks. He leans to the Nets against the spread. Follow Ziggy on X. You know, one man here in all these shows that we do on these channels. Ziggy, most of you follow him. Ziggy gets around, so to speak, Ziggy, right? But no one is as consistent as Ziggy, putting his picks up on X every day like clockwork. Ziggy doesn't take a day off, so you got to credit Ziggy for that every single time. Ziggy, hats off to you, making sure you get your picks on the internet every time for everyone to see. Full transparency, Ziggy balls. All right, Landon said the Hornets blew out the Nets, you guys. And Landon says he's got the Rockets by 20 because the Nets are on that back-to-back and they got rocked there. Okay, is it panic time? The Celtics, there are issues here for the Celtics. Now, granted, you've got no Tatum, You've got Jaylen Brown obviously playing hurt here right now. I mean, let's check the status. I mean, here we are with Boston on the road coming in 0-3. They're on the back-to-back. Coming into this one. Actually, they have a pretty clean injury report, it looks like, coming into this one. Misi is questionable for New Orleans. Matkovich is questionable as well, but the Pelicans here are a 3-point favorite. I mean, that almost tells you all you need to know as far as what's going on with this Celtic team coming in here right now with this 0-3 record. Oh my goodness. They're allowing 113 points per game on New Orleans. They're also desperate for a win. They're allowing 124 points per game right now. This is a recipe for points, I would think, with these teams not really putting an effort into defense. It feels like the teams are scoring in bunches so far in their first couple of games. It's just that slowing teams down has been kind of the problem. New Orleans at home has had a little bit of pace for sure, and I think that one probably will help this one go over here. Look, could the Celtics possibly be 0-4 after this game? That would be outrageous here right now, but hey, they're a dog. I'm not going to stop you. Here we go. Let's see. Boston has won 8 straight meetings over the Pelicans, but going back to last year now, this has turned into a look. They're 0-2. But they were not losing. They were not winning last year too. They've actually lost 9 straight games dating back to last season as this franchise tries to get it together here a little bit. 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone under. So if you want to chime in, let me know. But I'm going to take the over in this one between Boston and New Orleans at 233. Give me the over here right now in this matchup. All right, here we go. And let's see. Devin's got his plays in there. Magic, Sixers, Hawks. Ziggy's leaning to the under here in this one. And Jabon says, don't panic just yet, right? It's still the preseason, right? That's going to be my big theme right here. I try to be the cynic with everybody and try to, say, I'm never one to correct someone. Maybe I just love a good debate. But it's a preseason still here. In years past, I've kind of shied away from people who want to say they don't start until Christmas. But what I've seen out there so far for the first couple of nights, we'll see. Let's see here. Just a tough opponents for the Celtics, Jabon said. Pelicans are weaker than those teams, so maybe take the Celtics again here as a dog. As someone who had the Celtics again yesterday, maybe I'm a little timid there a little bit. I'm sure Boston, they're not going to miss the playoffs or anything, but it's a bummer not to have Tatum in there right now. And Brown, he was on the injured list every game so far. I don't think he's actually on the injured list so far tonight, but I imagine they'd probably put him on there. I mean, why wouldn't you? He's been on the injured list every game. I like these guys that are on the injured list every game and they still show up and show out come game time, it feels like right now. So, all right. I'll keep it moving here on Night Moves. Thank you guys. Great NBA conversation tonight. How about Toronto on the road taking on the Spurs here? Hey, no one in Toronto is going to be watching this one tonight, are they? Well, maybe they'll tune in, see what the score is anyway, but this one happens to fall right at the same time of the World Series, so couldn't move the time for this road game, I guess, with the Toronto on the road here. San Antonio, what can you say about their season so far? I mean, they've been the story of the season, it feels like, so far in the NBA with that 3-0 record. They're winning by an average of 16 points per game, averaging 121 points. Toronto, meanwhile, 1-2. There following the loss last night to Dallas in a high-scoring game. So they are on the back-to-back here, but San Antonio did play at home as well yesterday. For Toronto here, they're allowing 126 points per game, and I think they've dropped two in a row after that first victory there, right? So Spurs are rolling. Their pace is terrific. Wembanyama, look, it's hard not to just want to comment on him. We may be having a little bit of uh, uh, too much Wemby, but I don't know if we can have too much Wemby here, really. But his inside out game is clicking with his shooting, his passing, especially as well. So, man, I think the Spurs keep it going here right now. They're just playing terrific, and I like them to cover in this game against Toronto. Go ahead and tell me what you guys think in this one in the chat. But uh, Toronto is 6-3 against the spread their last 9 games against the Spurs overall here, but man, the Spurs right now seem like they're on a mission. Uh, uh, I am ready to pull the trigger and on the uh, San Antonio Spurs to win the NBA title. I don't know if they're the best. I'm not saying they're the best team, but I still think that their odds are relatively good for as well as they're performing. I don't think you could say they're uh, overshooting their expectations a little bit right now. I don't think they're overachieving though necessarily, right? I think the buildup for the Spurs has been there so far, and the expectation of their look. The Thunder are awesome. Okay, the Nuggets can probably do it too. You got to get all through all these teams, but if they could just get into the finals against one of these teams, possibly, and I don't know. They look at the teams that are ahead of them in the odds. Houston, okay, Minnesota, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Mavericks. Aren't the Spurs as just up to par as those other teams? So if they can they would have to upset one of the series, but they can return money right now on a 30-1 investment for you, I think. And I think at 30-1, the Spurs are worth a shot to win the NBA title here. I know the Thunder are totally awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love the Thunder too. But at 30-1, they can get into that Western Conference Finals. They're going to return on that investment, I do believe. In the meantime, I'll just take them to give me 91 cents on the dollar tomorrow and lay 5 points against Toronto. 5.5 there, right on screen. Current line, yep, 5.5 pretty much everywhere. I'll take the Spurs. Speaking of the Thunder, they're on the road taking on the Mavericks on Monday night, and they're a road favorite here. But the move is on the Mavericks a little bit there. It shows 7.5 on screen. Did see a little 8.5 at a big North American book, but it's definitely gone down here a little bit in this matchup against Dallas. Now, Oklahoma City's defense is already pretty much looking the part, it feels like to me so far coming in. Yes, so far the Thunder with that 3-0 record and allowing 119 points per game, but I'm willing to look at it as if, look, they're averaging 127 points per game so far. They failed to cover in 2 of the 3 games, so I get that, but they're winning by an average of about 8 points here so far this season, and pretty much holding teams down. It feels like Dallas has been inconsistent at best offensively. They have that crummy 92-point game so far. They did get that win though last night over Toronto, so maybe they can hang here at home. This is certainly a little bit of the regional rivalry between these two Texas foes, if you know what I mean. The Mavs kind of slow the tempo. It feels like a little bit here. Maybe not. They're giving up, I think, 100, over 115, 120 points per game actually so far this season. They were 0-2 ATS until they got that win there against Toronto on Sunday night. Ended up beating them 139-129 in a high-scoring game, for no doubt. But for me, I'm going to take the under in this one at 226.5 with OKC and Dallas. All right. Next up, the Suns are on the road here, taking on the Jazz, and this was a little more towards the south end of the spectrum. It feels like so far this season, although both teams do have a win here so far, pretty okay. The uh, Jazz, of course, got their win over the Clippers. They're averaging 116 points per game so far this season at 1-1, but they're 2-0 against the spread so far. Are the Jazz? Phoenix has been involved in high-scoring games, but mostly it's been on the other team's end. They are allowing 126 points per game and have gone over in all three games so far this season. I think both teams are capable of hitting their shots here against one another in this one, and we haven't seen much defense from Phoenix. Utah, though, that defense, we'll see. Remember, they beat up on the Clippers pretty good there in that first game, but then lost their second game. They're allowing 106 points per game so far. Like I said, 2-0 so far for Utah. So, look, they have the uh, home edge for sure, and I think they have the better defensive metrics here. But man, Phoenix is giving it up, and Utah, they're a little bit of a mystery here so far because they should be improved. This should be a much better team than what we've kind of seen over the last year or two. They go through stretches where they have players missing with injuries, and they have some okay players for sure. But in this particular series, 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Phoenix has covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two teams overall. Phoenix is not winning very many games dating back to last year. Yes, they have a win so far this season, but they've actually on the court lost 11 of their last 13 games dating back to last year. And I don't know if I want to say no end in sight here. There are 1-2. I should make a note of that right now. And having lost the last 2 games, they have been getting a little bit blowed out, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this one with Phoenix and Utah here on Monday night. Give me the over in this one. All right, Ziggy likes the Suns on the money line. Hey, we got a few more out west. Nuggets and Timberwolves in this one, and wow, you got the Nuggets here favored on the road by 6 here, and the total 228. Seeing maybe it is 5.5 out there right now. I do see a couple of 6s, but maybe it is mostly 5.5 here. I'm going to write that. Let me correct that a little bit. I think we're seeing this one also going down here, open as high as 236 at DK, down to 228 here right now with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Denver's defense, well, they look pretty steady, I would think, here so far. If you look at what they've done, allowing, they had one good game and one bad game. We know they came in with that win so far. And you look at Denver, look, it's not going to take much for them to get on track. I know that, but 1-1 record so far this season for Denver. They're also 1-1 against the spread. The Timberwolves right now come in 2-1 following the game there last night against Indiana. They got the win. They did not cover, but they are 2-1 overall. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, 0-3 ATS, though, coming in. And these division matchups can be a little bit of a grind when these two teams, when Denver and Minnesota have met. Checking on the injury list here, Anthony Edwards left the game last night. So this has been a big move because of that news. He left because of a hamstring injury. He was on the bench there for most of the game there after he left and got into street clothes. And I think because of his absence here, that's why we've seen this line move heavily in favor of Denver here right now because of that that news that Ant, could not play there in the second half. So Denver, though, is just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games against Minnesota overall. 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone over. I think without Edwards, the total here, like I said, it did move off some of those big numbers, but some of the books open as low as 232, 231, 230, and it's only moved down 2 points. And you've got Ant, who definitely is a prolific, scorer, no doubt about it. So far this season, I mean, coming into the game had an average of 36 points in the first 2 games, which has gone down obviously because of him missing, but that's a lot of points to be missing from Edwards. I got to go under in this one with Denver and Minnesota. Might be even a case where you got to take it early because this one could be dropping again if indeed Edwards is officially ruled out. And I would think right now that could heavily and easily be the case. This one's on Peacock. Ziggy says, take the Nuggets, lay the points. Grizzlies and Warriors here. The Warriors favored by 8 at home, 239. Man, what are we going to do with the Grizzlies here right now? We're not ready to just cast them aside as a team that already it'd be an 8-point dog here. I mean, they've looked okay so far, right? With a 2-1 record so far for Memphis here. Now, Golden State, they are playing some wild basketball, aren't they? Look at their games. They're averaging over 250 points per game so far in those 3 games. But the Grizzlies games are averaging 246 points per game. Memphis's defense isn't slowing anybody either. So I think with the Warriors here, they'll love to run in this matchup, and the Grizzlies pace, that'll keep things spread for 3-point land. It feels like right now teams are combined 5-1 to the over so far this season. So, hey, you know what? It could be a little bit of a bounce back here for the Warriors, right? But man, the late 8 here against the Grizzlies, who have a couple of wins so far this season. I mean, they got blown out in one game, and their wins maybe were a little bit closer here, but still got a Warriors team that they too got obviously blown out in one of the one-sided loss anyway. Both teams coming in here 2-1, straight up 2-1 against the spread. So I think I'll just take the over, but I'll take the over as my play here on Night Moves.
Final.
I mean, it is, after all, 237. These teams are averaging well over that. When is it going to come back down to earth? Because, like I said, this is a preseason here right now. It feels like. All right, in this series between these two teams, Memphis has covered 13 of the last 20 between the two, although the Warriors have actually won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two. Memphis and Golden State have gone over in 5 of their last 6 matchups with one another, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the over 239 there right now. Opened as low as 237, but now 239. Man, Ziggy likes the Warriors in this one. And we've got one more to go here in the NBA on Monday night. Big card here. Portland and the Lakers. Wow. Saw the Lakers last night, and hey, you know what? What can you say? They were able to get that win over the Kings last night. I like the result. I did have the over. I did have the under in the game here on the Night Move show, but I was on the Lakers in that game, and here now they are 3-point dog here. It feels like I'm going to change it to 2.5 right now. It seems like it's just moved here just a tad. maybe to the Lakers here at home. And we're trying to see if this Lakers team here right now, what can you say? Uh, Easy to be critical of them, but they're 2-1 all of a sudden. Now we know the news. No Luka. Here we go. He has to take time off here right now for another week or so. At first, it was just a finger injury last night, right? Now it might be something a little more. But we talked about how much they have to use Luka. I was talking about the what was it, a calf injury there? Was it a hammy? It is important. I'm not gonna say it's not important. I just don't recall right now. Let me see if I got this here. But no, nonetheless, they're saying Luke is going to need about a week to regroup. And like I said, are the Lakers already having to use him so much? You're seeing it out there, right? Because of the heavy usage and how good he's been. Great, but they're just calling it a leg injury here, lower leg contusion, a bruise is going to keep him out. He will be reevaluated in 7 days. So that means he could be out even longer. He's looked fantastic. He might be the MVP. 46 points, 11 rebounds, 8.5 assists. Okay, I get it. Everyone wants to poke holes in Luka, right, about selfishness or whatever, but they have 2 wins. He does what it takes to win. I don't buy it. Those that wanted to be critical of his play, he is doing what is being asked to do. If you want him to do less, you need to get some better support out there for Luka. That's the way I feel about it right now. And so this one may be tough here now for the Lakers without Luka in the lineup. Obviously, the Lakers would have been here probably about a 4-point favorite if he was in the lineup, but now they're an underdog. So that changes the complexion of the game here for sure. Both teams are averaging around 120 in their game so far, right? And maybe the Lakers have been a little bit better defensively with the numbers. I don't know if it necessarily reflects on the court, but hey, like I said, right now, Lakers at 2-1 here coming in, and Minnesota also 2-1, looking pretty good. But I'm sorry, the Blazers here also looking pretty okay, 1-2 so far this season. They did have one big blowout win there, obviously, and last night played the Clippers. Like I said, landed right on the number last night, pretty much 114-107. In fact, that was a Blazers cover. Actually in that game. So look, Portland, this young core of players, I like what I see from them for sure. I think they can probably trade buckets here with this one, and without Luka. Maybe you got to see one to see how it's going to go, but I think you still got to expect up tempo and probably a wild finish. I would imagine something goofy here in this one for sure. Blazers have been in every game thus far, obviously, and have the win, but now as a favorite on the road, maybe that is a okay spot for the Lakers. But I'm going to go with the over in this one tonight with LA and Portland, even without Luka. I'm going to try the over here in this one. Lakers have not really been great defensively. I think we're seeing that. All right, Ziggy is on the Blazers money line, and want to say hello and welcome to Jawan Denton in the chat, joining us here on Night Moves. Thank you, Jawan. Nice to have you here in the chat. Trying to look at your avatar there. Looks like man, are you in a motorcycle helmet on the beach on a balcony there? Nice to have you, Jawan. All right, I've got just a couple of games here coming up in the NHL tonight. And let me get to that right now. 2 games on the ice. Started off here with the Blues are on the road here, taking on the Penguins. Bennington in net here for the Blues. 2-3-1 record, 3.12 goals against, 87% save percentage, going up against Tristan Jarry in goal and the Penguins. Jarry's 3-1 with a 2.5 goals against and a 92% save percentage. He does have a shutout too already so far this season. And let's see here. The Blues are about a $1.20 favorite here on the road right now. So look, St. Louis has actually lost 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams. Pittsburgh's won 5 straight games between the two teams at Pittsburgh. They've kind of had their number for sure. But you look so far this season and what we've seen, is Pittsburgh looking pretty good so far, surprising a lot of folks with this 6-2-1 record right now, and also 7-2 on the puck line. Now they are a favorite; they are laying a big price here on the puck line to get that goal and a half. But Penguins averaging 3.6 goals per game. The Blues are allowing 4.1 goals per game so far. These two teams are a combined 10-7 to the over so far this season, and that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to take the over here in this one at 6 goals with St. Louis and Pittsburgh. Ziggy likes the Blues on the money line, on the road. Yep, St. Louis coming in with a 3-4-1 record so far, just 3-5 on the puck line, but maybe the Penguins have played a little bit of a easier schedule, so to speak. Timothy likes the Penguins, though, there on the money line. All right. And one more tonight on Night Moves. Take a look at the action here for Monday. We've got the Bruins and Swayman up against the Senators and Linus Ullmark. And a big favorite here for the Senators in this one, right? You got Bruins here coming in at 4-6. The Senators are 4-4-1 so far this season. For Swayman comes in here with a 3-3 record, 2.85 goals against, 91% save percentage. For Linus Ullmark here, 4-3-1 record, a 3.11 goals against, and 87% save percentage so far for Ullmark. Now, for these two Eastern Conference foes, Boston has lost 4 of their last 5 games here on the road at Ottawa. Boston got off to a hot start, but then have been ice cold ever since. Now, they have picked it up a little bit here and won again recently, but Senators are off to a pretty decent start. They're just 3-6 on the puck line coming into this one. Also, in this head-to-head matchup here, 11 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams have gone under. And it says 5.5 over there on the screen. You can grade me on that 5.5, but there are 6 under 20s out there at some sharp books too. So I do like the under here in this one. I'll probably personally make sure I'm on the 6 under 20, but hey, grade me at 5.5 here in this one if you'd like. And I think it goes under here with the Bruins and the Senators here on Monday night. And Ziggy likes the Senators on the puck line to defeat Boston. Hey, I think that's all I got here for the Night Move show here for Monday, October 27th. I want to thank everyone for joining me here. I had a great time talking sports and sports betting with you for a little over an hour, going over the action for Monday night, World Series, NFL Monday Night Football, a big NBA card, and NHL as well. So I'll be back here tomorrow night with more Night Moves. And maybe we get Javon to join me here as well. I want to thank everyone. Devin, appreciate you in the chat. Thank you for coming along. And thank you to all the viewers for coming along. We had about rolled with about 5 or 6 dozen of you here through the live show, and want to thank everyone also who watches the show overnight here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel on the replay. Get you ready for the action here before you hit the Tony's Picks morning show. Don't forget, join Tony and his crew there at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. Get you ready for the action with the early show with the guys going over the card and giving their top picks, best bets. Don't forget to head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off those premium pick packages, including mine. On Monday, I'll have props going for sure for Monday night football there. And hey, I had some prop winners there. I don't think I have them there, but I'm on a little bit of had some winners there in a row. We had last night Dallas and Vancouver there, and some Major League Soccer action. And I said go under 3.5 and got the winner there. And I also went 2-1 on my props. I'll get those graded. So, hey, we had a 3-1 day over at the site, and there you see some other winners. I had South Carolina on Saturday, Rice on Saturday, and I'm going to bring home some winners. So why not check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Click on the upcoming tab. That's where you'll find the picks in chronological order from our cappers, including Javon there. DeAndre is ready to go in Cleveland and Detroit. Final. You got doubles there as well with the picks as well. Higgs has his picks locked and loaded here for the action on Monday. So you can check out all the guys over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the 2-for-1 capper promotion. Why not pair me up with Javon or DeAndre or my man Ron? Look, Ron 8-4 there on Sunday. I could highlight Ron before we get out of here. My man there with a strong day. Let's take a look at some of Ron's winners here. Bucks, Heat, Broncos, Bills, Texans money line, and the New York Jets. Great job, Ron. Miss you and hope to see you soon. All right, that's going to do it here for the Night Move Show. We'll be back tomorrow with more picks and previews for the action on Tuesday. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.